Hello, students. So, I'll take you back to 2018 when my final result came. And despite scoring very good marks in GS, I could not clear the exam. And at that time, it took me 3, 4 days to see what to do next and, how to help the community because my attempts were over. So at that time, I had envisioned that there is something called mentorship that should be started because classroom and everything. This is something like there are 500, 600 people, but mentorship which can clear the gaps of aspirants that should be started. And probably now that I have scored good in GS, I should actually help the people or help the community by institutionalizing those frameworks and helping aspirants helping aspirants to crack the exam. So that's how mentorship program I started. And over last 5, 6 years it created many rankers. I still don't remember the number, but many of them. But I was always sad that I could not create a top 3 rank because 12 tak aaya tha maximum, top 3 nahi aa raha tha. Har baar it was just like that. This year when I saw the result, I was so happy because one of that mentorship program student actually got an all India 2 rank. And all of you must be knowing his name now, Animesh Pradhan. Animesh, welcome you. I welcome you very humbly to this session. And literally, when I saw the result, there were tears in my eyes because होता नहीं 5, 6 साल के जो मेरे एक तपस्या थी, गुस्सा थी, वो आपने जो है भर दिया. So what do you want to say about this?
Thank you so much, sir, for inviting and giving me the opportunity to share my happiness with you. And your mentorship program is something that had helped me throughout. And I would say that's when with the mentorship program, I started my full-fledged preparation from February 2022. And that gave me accountability, discipline, structure, and I owe a lot to the mentorship program of yours, sir.
So what was your reaction? I mean, what was your reaction when you saw the result? Like you just opened the PDF and your name is there at the top.
I mean, it was unbelievable because as a person, I'm very pessimistic in nature. So I thought I'd do the control F and I'd search my name and there would be no results found. I had 10 different permutation combinations, how I would react. And I was in office, so I knew that if things do not happen well, then probably I'll ask for a half-day leave. But when I downloaded the PDF, I did not have to do control F, and I think that was the biggest relief. And I just saw it, and for a moment I got emotional because I lost my mother a month back. So for be it prelims or mains, it had always been her whom I would call her, and she would also cry at that time. And but that time her absence got intensified. Then it took some time to sink in, and then I obviously informed my office peers and my seniors, and then my family, and it felt surreal.
See, I think I want to say this thing that your mother would have been very proud seeing from anywhere. I think she must have been seeing from somewhere, and she must have been even your father. They must because they have raised a very good kid, and India has got a very good civil servant. But when before after the interview, what was your expectation? Like which rank were you expecting?
I'm pretty sure, like as you said, it's all my parents' struggle and their sacrifices that has come to ill. After interview, I was not really sure because I mean I did not have a lot of time to stress about this because after that my mother fell really sick and we were in hospital for about a month, and after that I was coping with her grief. But with few different thoughts that I had, I was not expecting this good rank. I was just hoping that I might get into the list, and in best case scenario double digit rank so that maybe I could get into IAS. But a single digit rank, that too year two, was not even in my wildest of my dreams.
Actually, when I saw your paper in August, when your personal mentor showed me the paper, I knew that you will be at least an IAS rank. So nobody can actually predict. But the way the introduction, all that non-core and core, and using non-core diagrams, that conclusion with proper template, SDG, and all. So that actually, perhaps I would say, and after a long time, I saw a copy which was most of 90% following, whatever things that I was saying, commandments and 19 best practices and all, you were following almost everything. So I would say that in that case, so I think top 100 to pakka tha. But you got rank 2, rank 1, nobody can predict that. But IAS to tum ban rahe the. That was pakka. About answer writing, I mean, I would say answer writing is the biggest barrier for most of the aspirants. I've seen, to be really honest, I've seen people who are not just knowledgeable, they have, I think, 10 times more knowledge than me, but they are scoring really bad in mains. And all these people, the only barrier is answer writing. So what pillars of answer writing did you follow?
So I had a fixed template, and I mean the practice it happened because I must have given 50 weekly tests, which are like half-length tests.
Yes.
But I would have given 50 of them. So organically the answer writing practice happened. So I did not have to sit separately and write answers for the sake of practicing it. But I was giving tests right after probably 1 month of after the full-fledged preparation. So every week I got improved, and but every time I had this mind that I'll reproduce my notes and my answer. So my notes were also in a manner, in a template that used to be an answer. So there had to be an introduction, but the introduction needs to be catchy. So either it has to be an article or a data or or some fact. And then the body with as you said, the core parts has to be explained properly. The non-core allied parts could be in a diagram. And I have to make it sure the conclusion is not just a simple quote, but also maybe a catchy phrase or a Supreme Court judgment or a committee recommendation or something that would add value and probably give me that half mark more, so that by this cumulatively it would make a huge difference. So I had this, while I was making a note of it, I was to make notes. I would have is to have a fixed template with the basic content, the advanced content, plus all these ornamental things of Supreme Court judgments, committee recommendations, quotes, phrases, so that it would be a wholesome note that I could just reproduce while I'm writing an answer.
So it's very, very good advice that you have said. That template needs to be there because that is also always I say to my students, 8 minutes, you get 8 minutes to write an answer.
Correct.
You can't think on the spot, introduction, conclusion, and everything. You should have a template that if this kind of question could be asked, so I can use, like, out of those 3-4 templates, one template can be used. So definitely I think this is something which I always also saw in your answers also, that it was always template based and all. So what advice do you think would you give to people who have just started preparation and who are actually also working just like you, because you were working in Indian Oil? So any advice that you want to give to them, that how can they balance their work life and their preparation journey?
Correct. So for working aspirants, the first thing would be to accept that you have signed it up for this for whatever reason that you cannot leave your job. I could not leave that because of my own personal reasons. So you should stop cribbing about that you are at a disadvantage as compared to a full-time aspirant, because this is something that you have chosen for yourself. First that. And second, you'll have to make time for yourself. You'll have to make bigger sacrifices compared to other full-time aspirant. You have to let go of your weekends, or you'll have to let go of that vacation that you wanted to do. Obviously, breaks are important, and it's healthier to take break for your increased, enhanced performance. But you have to strategize in a way that you make the best out of your available time. And I believe, since I had always internalized the fact that I have so little time, I used to make the best out of it, because I had accepted that I have limited time and I had to make the best out of it. So I have to strategize, for example, maybe take a rent or take a home just beside your office, so that you can avoid your traffic. Or things like work, like I used to read majorly before I leave for office, so that my mind is fresh and majority of my work could be done before I'm going to office, and a little bit I can do in the evening after I come back. And that's when I'm drained out of energy, so I cannot put in a lot of efforts. If you're traveling through cab or a bus or a public transport or walking, make sure to read that time. I used to read through a lot of audiobooks or YouTube audio. I used to see any MCQs I used to practice, or just go through 5 MCQs of current affairs by different coaching institute that you get. So you have to utilize this small tiny breaks of your lives, because at the end of the day you have to clear it. So if you want to do it well, so that you can give everything in the first attempt itself.
I think that's a very important, again, that you've said, that smart study. That's what we call a smart study. That you have 5-6 hours. If you are a working professional,
Correct.
You can't read everything under the sun.
Correct.
You have to be very selective. And did you make use of PYQs also Like, how important were the PYQs in your preparation journey?
I mean, very unpopular opinion, and I'm not really sure if I'll probably, if somebody would see this and I'll get a lot of online hate maybe. But this is something I regretted. But for a longer time, I did not understand what is PYQ analysis, because a lot of people had said ki you see PYQ and do it, but then for a longer time I see that somewhere or the other, whatever I was studying, it was getting covered by PYQs, be it a YouTube video I was seeing or the books I was studying. So I did not get till very late, till prelims. I had not approached PYQs, and I got frightened because PYQs are very important. And if you see strategically, if you want to ace this exam in a better way, you should follow PYQ. But on a personal level, I could not till, let's say, it was end April or end of March when I started doing PYQs from 2000s and early 1990s, and I did everything at one go at all time together. But during that time, most of the preparation was done. So it felt that all these answers and ticking somewhere that I had read it. So I could not test myself with the PYQs, and I could not analyze and make a strategy out of it. But most of the people that I've talked to and who have succeeded have said that PYQ analysis is the numero uno most important thing. But for me, I could not do that, and I repent that for not following that strategy.
Okay, last question. That a lot of students got failed in CSAT this year. The paper was really tough. To be really honest, I have few students, IPS and IRS, failed in CSAT. So what is your advice for CSAT? Do you think that the aspirant should start preparing for CSAT from day one itself?
I mean, the marks are not yet out, but I'm pretty sure I would have qualified in CSAT by very thin margin. I could attempt a very less number of questions, and I'm thankful that my accuracy might have been insanely good so that I could qualify. And I'm a person coming from engineering background and was fairly confident with maths, rather overconfident. So I did not prepare for CSAT for longest part. It's just that during the last 2 weeks, I saw a random YouTube playlist with tips and tricks of different maths. But I don't know how much that helped, but I could not. I started with maths, and within first 15 minutes, I could solve one or two questions, and that's when I know that today English should be my savior, reading comprehension would be my savior. But after mains got over and I had there's no results, nothing was out, so I thought I'll start CSAT as the first thing because I was so frightened. And if today also I would have to start preparation all over again, CSAT would be the first thing that will give attention to. You might not start it from day one, but give it at least as much as importance that you do to usual GS questions, because it's literally breaking your qualification. So the cutoff today has come to be 75.
75, yeah.
I think majorly it's because people couldn't clear CSAT,
Yes.
and including me or anybody has to be more serious about CSAT. You cannot be overconfident about it.
Acha, like many aspirants, they start answer writing after prelims or probably late during preparation. What is your view? Like, do you think that aspirants should start answer writing from day one itself?
Not day one maybe, but maybe day 30 is a time in which you can start. As I said that I started my preparation full-fledgedly from February 2022. And I was, due to the weekly current affairs program that you had, I used to read the PDFs, and that used to be my content, and based on that I used to write answers. So obviously the same question, for example, role of election commissioner, I would have written on day 30, and that I would have written after 5 months. You could have seen immense difference. But that difference was made because I started at day 30. So in my personal opinion, you should start early, but no, that has to be ingrained in such a way that you're writing answers on the things that you're studying. It's not that to write answers you have to study something else. So whatever you're writing, write answers on based of that by having a template, and that template will be improvised and get improved with due course of time. But you have to get out of that inertia, because for subjects like geography or things like that, it becomes difficult to write 2-page answers. So for that you have to write more and more answers to get better at it.
Actually, when we started this weekly test, 2017 it was, the reason was that only that, when you start preparation. So the idea was that you already have read the content, now you attempt the answers.
Correct.
So that can help the beginner, right? That, he's not that confident that, probably he can write answer. But now that you have read the PDF and the questions were based from that PDF, so you can actually, start that answer and all. So I think now, what is your next plan? Like, how do you want to contribute to this country, your state, to the aspirant community? What is inside you now? I know you are really busy because you already have a job, and I think you have to quit that job. What is your next vision?
I mean, my next vision is to get back to my state. Preferably, I get my desired home cadre and get back to grassroots. I come from very humble background, although I had been a privileged position. I was financially independent when I started my preparation as well. But since I had gone through personal setbacks, I think I would be able to be in a situation to be more empathetic towards the citizens. And it's not just I want to work for one single sector or something, but I want to be more empathetic enough so that I make the lives of the people better, be it through education, health, awareness, grievance redressal, or whatever. But the general day-to-day conditions of people at anywhere I work should be better and they feel more empowered. So that should be my next vision. And for the community that I'm part of, I would try to be help through whatever resources I can by sharing my strategy and being very honest about the intricacies of it. I did not have a very usual experience because I was working. I had a personal setback back at home. So I'm not sure if a lot of people relate to that, but I'll be more than happy to help and give back to the community that have given me a lot.
Thanks, Animesh, for coming and sharing your insights with the people. And I wish you really all the best. And I don't wish, actually, you will do really well. It's like not even wishing, you will do really well. And but just last bit of advice to you, that this is just you have a means and an end. So this is not the end. I think this is the means
Correct.
that you wanted, that you have to serve the community and your people. And I think you have been given the means through this exam. Now the end goal is your main goal, that is to serve the community. And I'm sure 10 years down the line, when we'll again be talking, you must be would be in DM at that time. And I think at that time also I would have been that proud only, because you would have done some awesome work in next 10 years. So thank you, Animesh, for coming. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really amazing to share my happiness with you.
Thank you.